Good afternoon, folks. Welcome. How's everybody doing out there? Yeah, long time no stream. I've been busy. I've been in Norway, and then I had somebody painting my house, and yeah. Thank you, Six Stack Fault. Yeah, I like that talk, the tipping points in technology one. So I don't know if you saw, I just on YouTube on Monday, I do a little YouTube thing every Monday afternoon now, and one of the things I talk about in the tipping points talk is crossword puzzles, and how AI cannot make crossword clues because it doesn't understand. It doesn't understand anything. Understanding is an organic phenomenon, but the predictive models used with it do not assign any significance to words other than their semantic meaning. And so they can't make anagrams and they can't do all that kind of stuff. And I just realized, folks, I got two mics here and I don't think I need both of them. I think, is this one on? 1, 2. There we go. We can use that one. All right. Cool. I'm going to move that one out of the way. And yes, the tokens work. It doesn't know how to spell. It doesn't know how to. It doesn't know anything. You know, there's no knowledge. The tendency of human beings to anthropomorphize things is, it's kind of cute. Like, we see all sorts of machines. We're like, oh, look, the fridge is complaining. The fridge wants to be cleaned. It's a fridge. Like, you don't clean it, it's going to break. But when you get something like, ChatGPT or Gemini that starts to display potentially characteristics, it is so potentially dangerous, to start ascribing consciousness and sentience and those kinds of things. It's the famous Edgar Dijkstra quote about asking whether a machine can think is like asking whether a submarine can swim. And I think the cat is out of the bag with that one. I think the genie's out of the bottle. It's done. Like, people think AI is intelligent and they think it's anthropomorphic and they have all these things, and that's never going to go away. Which means, what if we do ever invent something that is actually artificial intelligence? We're going to have a big problem with it, because we won't have any names left to call it, because we used all the good names for language models. But anyway, let's do some hacking. So what I want to do today, over like a bunch of the sort of previous streams before we took a little bit of a break on this, is I want to start pulling together the various pieces of what I want Rockstar to be able to do, because there are basically gonna be 5 things that I need to wire in here. Let me just close a bunch of files here that don't exist anymore. That's all cool, and stick a new file in there. So right, Rockstar to-do list. This is how I plan all of my projects. So basically, the pieces that I need to plug in here, the stuff which is gonna kind of fit together, is one interpreter built in C#, and then that interpreter is going to produce a native Windows executable via .NET AOT compilation. So that means I got to figure out how to do native compilation, tree pruning, because I don't want the entire .NET runtime in this thing. I just want the little bits of it that are necessary. Rockstar is actually very small, because it's an interpreter, so it doesn't, pull in libraries to do JPEG compression, networking, file system I/O, crypto, all these kinds of things. It's just strings in and strings out, certainly for now. So we got native Windows, we got native Mac OS executable, and native Linux executable via that. Actually, it kind of goes without saying that all of those are going to be with that. And then we got this whole thing on Chocolatey, on Nougat, on Windows App Store. I don't know, there's got to be like some distribution mechanism. Sigstackfault says, in the webcomic Runaway to the Stars, sentient AI is a giant blob of quantum spaghetti code and nobody knows how it works, not even the AIs themselves. It could be argued that the universe that we live in is just a giant blob of quantum spaghetti code and nobody knows how it works. So native that is going to be on Homebrew. I think is probably a good place to put that one. Native Linux on, I don't know, I mean, I'm presuming there's some sort of aptitude. I don't know where do Linux folks get jokes from? But basically, I want to be able to someone to go, install Chocolatey or Brew, install Rockstar, or that thing there. So one interpreter built in C#, and then WebAssembly compilation of that via Lezer. But then this is the other fun part, is the web playground. What Flatpak? Someone says Flatpak. Let me make a note. What is Flatpak? Flatpak. Actually, you know what I'm going to do here? The individual distro package managers can be somebody else's problem. I like the sound of somebody else's problem because that's not my problem. Let me spin up a thing here. So I'm just going to go into CodeWith. There we go. Select folder. And And actually, you know what? I can probably open this up in Obsidian. I want to edit Markdown. That's what I want to do here. And this Obsidian is I'm completely and utterly in love with it at the moment. It's a fatal. Your current branch main doesn't. I'm on the wrong thing. I need to switch to a vault. I have one. There we go. Rockstar 2.0 spikes. Let's close that and bring that over here. And come on, Windows, move. There we go. That's nice. README. All right, so let's grab that lot there that I was just sketching at. We're going to bring that over here. Spikes and experiments for Rockstar 2.0. All right, so let's say Rockstar 2.0 roadmap. There we go. Put the word roadmap in it. Now it sounds impressive, right? So, native interpreter built in C#. Yeah, that's good. We like that. And then we're gonna run a boom. Welcome to the stream. Today we are indenting text. And then we will be able to put on our resume that we have experience with text formatting, and we'll be able to get jobs with it. There we go. No, let's just look up what is Flatpak. I've never seen Flatpak before. Flatpak, the future of application distribution. I like the future. What? Entire Linux desktop market. That sounds good. 38. Yeah, okay, cool. I like that. That'll do. Isn't Trello better for the roadmap? No, because Trello, yeah. Stuff in Trello dies. Like, unless there is some... I use Trello as a dumping ground for ideas, but Trello doesn't have the kind of, like, immediacy, because everything in Trello looks the same. I love Markdown, because it gives me kind of just the right balance of just being able to write stuff without worrying about it. Also there's Trello, and then there's GitHub projects as well, which is totally a thing. On Flatpak, question mark that. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, do you know Obsidian show plugin ID equals Obsidian editor shortcuts can do Kanban boards like Trello and Obsidian without a plugin as far as I did not know that you can do Kanban boards in like Trello in Obsidian. Hang on, that might be fun. So Obsidian, I picked it up as a replacement for Evernote because I rage quit Evernote because their marketing just insulted my intelligence to the point where I vowed I would never give them any money ever again. Marketing does this. What am I looking for here? Plugins. What's it called? Hello, Emporium Guy. Welcome to the stream. Plugin Obsidian editor. You can do Kanban boards without a plugin. But you know what? We'll come back to that another time. WASM compilation via Lezer. Okay, so we got WASM compilation via Lezer. That's gonna be, come on. There we are. Community plugin. Let's have a little quick look. Community plugins. Turn on. Yeah, what do we got? Turn on, and restricted mode is off. Turn it on to disable. The negativity, like you've got to turn off the thing to not enable, and let's browse community plugins. What do we got here? Kanban. Create Markdown backed Kanban boards. That one? I mean, that's got 1.2 million downloads, and that's got 86,000 downloads, so that one must be better because more people use it, right? Ooh. Yeah. Just mash the install button. What can possibly go wrong, right? Yay. .NET development that's not game dev. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's funny, like .NET is... I know a lot of people who do .NET development, and they're not building games, they're building all kinds of stuff. All right. I've got a Obsidian-backed Kanban board. Now what do I do with it? You need to install it and then enable it. All right, boom, there's that. There's community plugins. Kanban enabled. Yes, 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 yes. All right, that's nice. Yeah. 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 Yeah, all right. How do I make it work? There's a new icon in the sidebar. Thank you. You know, chat, you are much better than like Chat GPT. Like chat, real humans is awesome. Add list to do. Oh yeah. Oh, this is fun. How do I rename the list? Edit list. Edit list. Yeah. All right. So what did I have? Native Windows executable, native macOS executable, native Linux executable, and now I can go over here and I can, was there add another list on here somewhere? Is that it? Add a list. So this is a fun thing. I have big cursors because I have like 7 screens. And it is surprising how many people never tested the application with oversized cursors. Okay, this is cool. I don't think it is what I need for today, but it is definitely useful. It's something that I will get onto when we get to more granular prioritization. So we got WASM compilation via Blazor. That's a thing that we're going to need. And let me just... And now this is the fun part. This is what I want to do today. Is I want to start, like today is very much about architecture and structure and about how to pull together all of these disparate things, because I also want a CodeMirror web-based editor for it. And that means that I am going to need a, if I want syntax highlighting in that, with syntax highlighting, which means I am going to need to create something called a Lezer grammar. And that means, can I use the same file to generate the rockstar.peg and the Lezer grammar for it? And that is kind of today's question, is I want to figure out how much scope there is to reuse the language syntax definition between the bit that generates the interpreter, which runs in .NET, and the bit that generates the parser, which is going to be used in CodeMirror to do syntax highlighting for the language. And then I want that, and I want that, and then I also want abstract syntax tree visualization. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff like Rockstar Hall of Fame, maybe even GitHub sponsorship, because that would be kind of a fun way. I was using so actually the cursors that I use on my desktop, they have a really nice way of paying for them. Like you go on, you do a one-off sponsorship on the GitHub repo from the guy who creates them for like $8, and it's like, oh yeah, now you're a GitHub sponsor, and it enables download access, which, you know, it's really nice being able to pay a little bit of money for software without having to get your credit card out of your pocket, because it just goes, I'll stick it on your GitHub bill for next month. Very, very smooth, very frictionless. And you know, the whole idea, like the code will be GPL and it'll be free, but people pay for convenience, and if the convenience pays for stickers, and I can give stickers away, that makes the world a friendlier and more self-adhesive place. All right, so let's play with this. Today I want to play around with Lezer grammars and get started with that, see what we need to do with that. Which means let's go to here, and Lezer grammar CodeMirror is what we want. System guide. Let's jump into getting started. Building a grammar? No. Overview, yes. Lezer, examples, setup. All right, here we go. 0 to something with Lezer grammars and CodeMirror and that kind of stuff. Let me spin up a terminal. boom, 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 boom. There we go. Shrink that way. There we go. Doop, 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 doop. That's nice. Right, Z spike will take me to Rockstar spikes, and let me have a look, and that should be, alright, rm minus r dot. Cannot remove that because it's in use. Yeah, you can. Bye-bye node modules. Thank you for playing. That'll be back in a minute. That was just me playing around late last night before I decided it would be more fun to come back today and do this on stream. Alright, so what are we going to plug in here? Let's plug in. So there's that and there's that. So what do we need to do? Create a minimal package.json. Alright, touch package.json. There we go. Code in that folder there. Sling that over. That we can delete because that's somewhere else now. And it's going to look like that. So we'll crib that chunk of code, drop that in there. Let's shrink that down a little bit. Name Rockstar parser. Type is module, dependencies, and prepare wants to take a source / something .grammar, rockstar.grammar, minus output source. Let's call that Rockstar. Actually, we'll just call it parser.js. There's always, you know, following through these kind of examples, the more things you change, the more likely it is something's not going to work later because the instructions assume you're stuck with the defaults. All right, let's, so we got that lot. Let's get that folder open. And now if we go in here and I'm just going to do, what do we think, folks, yarn or NPM? I like yarn, but the instructions use NPM, but they're basically the same thing. Yarn, NPM, yarn, NPM, yarn, Let's ask ChatGPT. Because, you know, the best thing to use AI for is when you can't make decisions. Should I use NPM or yarn? And it says, it depends. No, screw that. Let's use yarn. All right. Yarn install, see what this does. Boom, Lezer common, Lezer things, Lezer everything. Broke because no such file as source / rockstar.grammar. PNPM is the meta. Is what? PNPM. Is PNPM better than NPM? Yep, much faster and more efficient. It's a perfect replacement for NPM or yarn. Now guess what? I've got NPM installed and I've got yarn installed and I know both of them and I've used them a lot. Is PNPM worth the perennial question in software development? Do I stick with the thing I know even though it might not be the best, or do I potentially waste the rest of the afternoon going, I'm going to install the better thing which will make everything better, and just discover that it, in fact, does not make it that much. There we go. Reddit. Is PNPM really lives up to its hype? Okay, Symlinks is nice. We like that. I mean, Symlinks is one of those things that I read that and I'm like, did they get this working on Windows properly? I'm going to use yarn today. Ooh, hang on, that's interesting. Large project went from 1 minute 10 to 0.07. JavaScript packaging is a cluster foxtrot in general. It is indeed. JavaScript is a wonderful language with a, like the fact there's no standard runtime for it, just, yeah. Browsers, brilliant. JavaScript in browsers, excellent. I love PNPM. Idea of PNPM is really cool, but doesn't work well due to shitty behaviors of NPM. NPM to NPM to and what? PNPM work the best. All right. PNPM. Get started. Installation. On Windows, using PowerShell, IWR that useb pipe EIX. All right, boom, see what happens. All right. So where were we? We were in spikes. Boom. See the Lezer CodeMirror spike. So let me just wipe out that yarn lock and the modules folder that goes with it. Sayonara. Okay. PNPM install. That's going to take some muscle memory getting used to. Sweet. All right. Code there. I'm going to just pull that blind across. The sun comes around this side of the room over there, and it's out that side there. And lovely, every little micromolecule of dust on your screen suddenly goes, hello, I'm illuminated now. All right, so there we go. We got that in there. Right-click, new folder, source. So this is just experimental. This is just, stuff I have never done before. And I just want to see what is involved in getting all this stuff kind of wired up and working, and what point can I get to? So that's a very simple sequence of words, numbers, and quoted strings. All right, npm run prepare will build the parser. Okay, let me get a terminal window up in here. Why is that? Yeah, okay. Boom. Terminal, new terminal. Cool, so pnpm run prepare. The term pnpm is not recognized as the name of a commandlet. That was going so well. Does npm work there? Does yarn work there? Yes, it does. Okay, so I probably need to close and reopen VS Code so that it picks up the new environment variables. It'll mean pnpm works in a console. pnpm. Yeah, there we go. Just needed a VS restart. But now I've got to delete the yarn lock again, and I got to delete the open in File Explorer and get rid of the node modules again. And that's a pnpm lock.yaml. All right, so pnpm run prepare. Lezer generator is not pnpm install. All right. Okay, cool. Wrote source / parser.js. Do we have a parser.js? Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay, progress. Right, most parsers will use an external tokenizer or a set of highlighted style tags defined by an external JavaScript file. The emitted parser script will import from those and thus just work, but it is often convenient for a module to provide a single bundled script. Let's add a single line to the grammar that referenced an external prop definition used for highlighting. Okay, so add a single line to the grammar. I'm guessing they mean that this goes in here, because that's our grammar file, and the highlight.js file exports. Now that says highlight tags, but I'm assuming they mean highlight, and it's not some weird technical term. All right, so this needs highlight.js. So boom, right click, new file, highlight.js, bang. All right, identifier number string. Yeah, all right. Tools like Rollup can take a script and inline its imports. Lezer Generator comes with a Rollup plugin that allows you to perform your entire build, including the parser generation inside Rollup. Let's add Lezer Highlight and Rollup to our dependencies in package.json. All right, so there's package.json. Name, version, type. I like that. They bumped the version there to 0.2 because they did a new thing in the walkthrough. Exports. All right, that looks new, so we'll plug that in there. Dev dependencies, that looks important, so we'll plug that in there. Move that down a little way. Move that. That's as small as that one's gonna get. Yeah, all right. Dependencies, we can drop that and replace that with that. All right, and script prepare is gonna become rollup minus C. Interesting. All right. Oh, we need a rollup config.js. Ours could look like this. I guess ours probably should look like this. Where do you think this goes? Goes in source or goes in the root? Let's Alright, I'll stick it in source, see what happens. New file rollup.config.js. Boom, okay. Source rockstar.grammar, that's fine. Okay, so we got two. We got a common JS and we got an ECMAScript module output, which is looking promising. We got a Lezer plugin. All right. That doesn't exist anymore. So how do we run it? Yep. Rollup is not recognized. npm install. Okay. Cannot find module rollup.config.js. Because it's looking for it somewhere else. Okay, I thought that might be fun. Okay, that works. Cool. Yep. Okay. Done, I think. So how do we plug it into CodeMirror? Examples. Bundling with rollup. Yep. Okay, so I guess we're using rollup because the CodeMirror and Lezer are written by the same people, I think. Lezer is it's actually really interesting digging into where Lezer grammars came from, because the grammar for running a parser that works in a syntax, like a code editor in real time, means that it kind of can't fail. Like, if there's an error on one line halfway down your source code, it's gotta go. Like, if you take a look at what I got here, so this is like a JSON file or a JS file, and if I go in here and I break this with something which isn't valid syntax, the rest of the file is like, well, I'm still gonna parse this and I'm still gonna syntax highlight that, whereas if you try and compile it, it's gonna go, yeah, I got as far as that and I gave up. So the building parsers for use in code highlighting is a very, very kind of different animal to building parsers for use in actually compiling code. Yeah, it's really cool. So, CodeMirror, yes, we are basically walking through the steps here, and what we'll probably end up with is, I hope, something that works, but I'm not entirely sure why, and at that point we start figuring out how the whole thing works. You must first write a script that imports the library and creates the editor view. All right. So let me stick a new folder in here. Do I bang this into source or do I put it somewhere else? Let me stick a folder in here called www, just as a kind of... If it turns out they need to be in the same place, that's a file, isn't it? I want to create a folder, thank you. Turns out they need to be in the same place. It's easy to mash them together. It turns out they need to be in different places. It's much more difficult to go through and go, that one goes there, that one goes there. So we'll stick it all in the same place for now. So we need to create a main script, say editor.mjs. All right, well, we can do that. New file, editor.mjs. .mjs. I'm guessing like module JavaScript or module-aware JavaScript or some such thing. Yep, okay, that looks good. We'll drop that in there. Next, we must install the necessary packages. The rollup plugin node resolve pilot package is necessary to teach rollup to resolve node style dependencies. Okay, so we run that, except we npm run that. Where do I run this? There. There, that worked. And then we npm that. All right. With these, we can run rollup to create the bundle file. Okay, look at that. That's where this gets hilarious. Because we're using pnpm, right? And pnpm means we don't have a node modules folder, which means I can't do that. Because node modules does not exist. All right. pnpm run bin from node modules. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. It should work anyway. pnpm install, cool, up to date, all done. Right, so I'm going to copy this line here. And I think this is not going to work, but I have been surprised before. Oh, that's interesting. How does it work? Symlinks, of course. Yeah. Symbolic linking. Node modules is there. It's just there isn't actually anything in it. All that's in it are pointers to other. Oh, that's clever. That's neat. Oh, I like that. All right. So that would work, except editor.mjs is in the wrong place. So let's move that to there and run that again. Created editor.bundle.js. Yeah. It tells roll up the output file should be fine. So let's take a look at what we got in editor.bundle.js. We've got that. Which contains nothing. Because what? Windows VS Code hides the node modules folder by default. It's just, I think it's a VS Code global setting. Yeah, I mean, if we refresh that, no, it just doesn't appear. Don't know why. Did I hide it? At some point I maybe hid it. Or it's because there's a git ignore file in the solution folder, in the parent folder that it's picking up. Anyway, doesn't matter. All right, so what do we got? So good news is we got no error messages. Bad news is we also don't have any code. We've got an empty function that just goes, yeah, you strict. Thank you, we're finished. Which is not the what we wanted out of this. So we've got a yeah. Right. Okay, so let's run it again. Or maybe I'm not at that step yet. Maybe I'm not there. All right. So we've got a main script. That's in. That's nice. Let's stick a... So there's editor.bundle.js, a new file, index.html. Boom. Save that in there. Let me run Spark in here. Spark is brilliant. Spark is an emergency web server that just turns whatever folder you're looking at into a web server, which is really smart. And now I can go http localhost 8080, and that says CodeMirror. And let's have a look at why it did nothing. Let's dock that to there. And we've got a little red cross. 404 not found, loading favicon.ico. All right. So that's a normal error message. We don't care about that. GitHub, DylanBT, Rockstar 2.0 spikes, Lezer CodeMirror spike. There, now we have a favicon. How about that? That'll work. So now we have no errors and no editor. Okay, so what did we miss a step? Yep. All right, bundling with rollup. It's all fine. Okay, so I suspect the problem here is that our editor.bundle.js is literally just that. It includes nothing. And so what have I missed here? That's in import editor view and basic setup from CodeMirror. So that's our editor.mjs. Let editor equals new editor view extensions. Yeah, parents document.body. Okay, that should be all right. Next, we must install the necessary packages, which is done. Yeah. Just run. I'm going to run that again, just in case something about the way it was invoked. Okay, hang on, pnpm, boom, that. Yeah, already up to date. Okay, so that's good. Let's try that one. pnpm, that. Already up to date. So input is editor.mjs. So when we run rollup, which is node modules /bin /rollup. Okay. Editor.mjs. Yeah, that's cool. Actually, you know what? Let's do this in a proper terminal. I've just realized that what you got there is tiny code hidden behind my head. So we'll sling that over there, and we'll do... Hey, come on. All right. So this thing says you can put a rollup.config.mjs. So let's try that. Let's try code rollup.config.mjs. And we're going to drop that lot into here and see. Input is editor.mjs. Output is that. Plugins, node resolve. That all looks pretty good. So now we should just be able to call that -c. Then -c. Generated an empty chunk. And there's editor. Yeah, okay. So right. So theories here. 1, we missed a step. 2, the docs don't work. 3, there's something that npm does that pnpm is not doing in the way that these documents are written for. So that... yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Which is weird. It's that frustrating situation in software where it doesn't work, but there are no error messages. So there's nothing. I mean, this maybe generated an empty chunk. Roll up pnpm generated an empty chunk. Roll up generates empty bundle. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. So where is that CodeMirror dependency being installed to? Let's... So that's going in as a package dependency. That's going in as a package dependency. Editor equals new editor. So that should work. And this is that whole thing that I find very frustrating, which is trying to use the Node.js ecosystem and the two different JavaScript module things to build something that ends up in a browser. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to run all this stuff one more time. I'm going to run it with npm, not with pnpm, and I'm going to see what happens. Just in case there's some... Because, if you've adapted the docs and the recipe and doesn't work, then how about you try not adapting the recipe and see if you get better results out of that. So let me try... oh, no, that's not going to work. I need a window there. That's what I want. All right, so I'm going to try this in a... stick up a new folder here. So new folder, and I'm just going to call this CodeMirror Experiments. All right, and let's VS Code. I'm going to close that folder. And I'm going to open the parent folder that it came from. So open folder is going to be GitHub, Dylan Beatty, Rockstar 2.0 spikes. And everything's in there. A lot of things are about to get very excited as I go, ooh, projects everywhere. Let's run all the projects. I'm like, no projects. It's fine. CodeMirror Experiments. All right. Open an integrated terminal. So that one's there. So what I want to do in here, so we're just going to run these steps from the beginning and see if we can get a working CodeMirror editor to render. So this is the, yep. Import editor view basic, that's fine. All right. And so we need to npm minus I that. So npm minus I is there. One thing that's a little weird, nothing here is exported. Like it's weird that doesn't, yeah, all right. We'll come back to that. With these, we can now create the rollup file. So do we have rollup installed already? Let's see what we get if I do this. Hang on, that thing there's got a slash in it, which is not how you do line continuations on PowerShell. All right, that created editor.bundle.js. Okay, interesting. So doing the exact same thing with npm worked. With pnpm, we got an empty function come out the other side of it. So whatever, you know, the sort of theoretical drop-in compatibility, nah, not the thing. Now, far be it from me to say that the JavaScript ecosystem may be overselling itself from time to time. Right, let's drop in a new file here, index.html. This has got a... in PNPM, there was 2 roll-up config files. One with JS, one with... hang on. You think the problem is that I was running them in the same folder, not a PNPM thing. Okay, so let's try it here. Let's go into start that. We're going to nuke the that and that and that. And scrub out all of those. And now we'll try the same thing here with pnpm, see if that works. I may have maligned it unfairly. All right, and now that one there, except without the slash in it. So drop that in, but... And so now what do we got in here? Yes, thank you, Defkill. That was my bad. I'm sorry, PNPM. I was wrong to doubt you. All right. Well, that's cool. That's a massive amount, like seriously massive amount. It's not that massive. It's only 26,941 lines of JavaScript. But let's take a look at our index.html, which is over here. And now if I spark in that folder there, and then we go to localhost 8080, this should be a code highlighting editor. Oh, look at that. Var x equals 1, var y equals 2. Var z equals x divided by y, console.log z. All right, cool, works. Git add -a, git commit -m, first successful CodeMirror editor. Push that lot. Okay, so back to the docs. Next up. Yep. Okay, that's minimal. We can come back to optimization later. Today is about, is this thing actually going to work? So examples, adding support for a new language to CodeMirror. So we have got a parser. Yep. So we've got a Lezer grammar, and we've got a, that's fine, use that in this example. So that's all fine. See the examples, Lezer generator example.grammar, Lezer's generic parser tool, yep. Okay, so a Lezer parser comes with a number of node types, each of which can have props with extra metadata added to them. Whoa! All right. So, yep. or as the example repository does, include the rollup plugin provided by that tool in your process so you can directly import the parser from the grammar file. Right, so let's... all right. See, there's these little snippets of code in the docs here, but it doesn't sort of say which file they go in or where you need to look at them or anything, so we'll figure that out as we go along. All right, so... Random snippets of Lisp inside the parser grammar, inside the JavaScript. All right, so what do we got? We've got a... so let me compare that. Here is our demo that we were playing around with a second ago. And... all right. Okay, so these are the two configs. Yeah, that's why the thing wasn't working before. There was two different configs. So, first line of this thing says import parser from /parser.js. So let's figure out how to get this thing to build parser.js as it goes along. And so that, I'm guessing what we need here is we need a rollup.config file which does both things. So let's grab the rollup.config.mjs. So this is the thing which is going to take the... let's have a look at the sample repo. There was a mention of that there. So this is the example repository, rollup.config.js. Let's see how this does it. Input is... what? A minimal CodeMirror language support package. The error is to clone it, rename it, and edit it to create support for a new language. All right. So this is... input source index.ts. What is index.ts? All right. So this is types. Okay, this maybe is a better way of getting to what we need. So this is 2 years old. How old is this stuff? That's .NET. So this is presumably CodeMirror version 6 is the current CodeMirror version. So let's take a look at that example repo again. Okay. That all looks pretty good. What I don't see in here anywhere is the bit of this that actually pulls in the... So that says import parser from syntax.grammar, which is interesting because syntax.grammar is not a module file. So something in here is doing some transformation on that, which is probably happening in the rollup. Which it must be that. It's just picking that up and running it through. Let's try. All right, let's try this. Let me download. I'm going to grab a zip of that so I can drop that in here. And let's call this lamb example. Yeah, that'll do. Blow that up, extract that, 7-zip, extract a lang example main. And so now we jump in over here. There's lang example main. There is source. There's index.ts. That's fine. That's syntax.grammar. All right. Okay, let's see if this thing works. So the instructions for this were you need to find every instance of the word example anywhere in this. So let's do search for example. Case sensitive, yes. So CodeMirror lang example. And all right. Okay, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. That's the README, so we got that one already. Export const Rockstar language equals that. CodeMirror lang exam export function Rockstar and Rockstar language. All right, that's fun. And this is got a, yeah, this is test code. It's got file system stuff in it, which is never gonna work in a browser. So there we go. We got 2 things left in that. That's all right. So now, what do we do with it? We pnpm run prepare and pnpm test, I guess. All right, let's see if those work. cd lang example. Let's whack up the font size on that a little bit and bring that over, bring that up. Clear that window, pnpm install. All right. 3 deprecated subdependencies found. Okay, I'm sure those can't be important. I mean, we're talking about syntax highlighting in a web-based editor, right? Like, there's only so much damage it can do. Yep, okay. Adjust the grammar tests. Okay, npm run prepare. pn. pm run prepare. pnpm test. What do you think? Is this going to work? Might work. Mocha. Cool, look at that. Rewrite this README file, add a license, and publish it. We can probably do those a little later. So, we've got that building. So the question is, did this little process we just ran through, let me just, settings, open user settings, JSON, no, I want settings UI because I need to knock that down from 16 to there, so that I can make the whole thing. JavaScript libraries aged like avocados. Yes, they do. Like delicious avocados full of fresh milk, warm fresh milk, and a chicken salad that you bought in a gas station and left on the dashboard of your car on a sunny day. The big problem with JavaScript libraries is the extent to which the lack of any kind of standard runtime means that to do string formatting or to do just about anything, you got to pull in somebody else's library. So you have this massively complicated network of dependencies on dependencies on dependencies on dependencies, and then you find out that the one right at the bottom of the stack has a problem. And then it's like, ah, yeah, well, that's a problem now. Okay, so we've got, okay, so we got index.js is, that's the thing that should probably be called parser.js, right? Like the stuff we looked at so far. Yep. Yep. So import parser from parser.js, but my index.js, I think has a export. What is that character soup in states and token data? What you mean up here? So my hunch is that the generator, this is generated code. You shouldn't edit it, and I should probably say you probably shouldn't even read it. My hunch is that they have used some optimized packing format to take a whole bunch of states and state transitions and cram them into a string, because it's a convenient way in JavaScript of storing relatively compact data. That's what I suspect is going on here. Okay, so we've done this. We've done example repository, include the rollup, and now this thing says import parser from parser.js, but we don't have parser.js. We've got const parser equals that, but like, it's not apparent to me yet how we combine these two pieces that we've created to get one good one. So we've got a packages with names like CodeMirror, Lang, Python, CodeMirror, Lang, Elixir. We'll go through implementing a language package for a very minimal Lisp-like language. Yeah, that's fine. Is that the sample repo we were just looking at? Yes, it is. First thing we'll need is a parser. All right, we've got one of those. All right, we've got a grammar. That's fine. We can modify that later. But yeah, I don't. Now let's have a look at how test.js does it. Yeah. So that's running this. So there's a Rockstar language .parser, which may be relevant to our interests. Parser.config. All right, so this thing down here, return new language support. Do we have that? Because that looks like that, right? Like, has this just done it? Like, built the whole thing? Yeah, all right. So CodeMirror integration comes with node types, that's all. All right, okay, so that import parser from there, that's working. Okay, so this thing here has kind of done this lot for us. So we've got parser.configure, props is there, that's fine, style tags is there, whatever, and export const example language. So export const writer, so we've got that, that's cool. Parser equals whatever, yep, that's nice. And okay. Is this a Webpack project? No, it's using a thing called Rollup at the moment, because that's the recommendation from the CodeMirror syntax stuff we're working with. Yeah. Writing a language package, adding support for a new language to CodeMirror. This is definitely one of those, we'll look at it this way, we'll look at it that way, we'll poke this and prod that and see that, and at some point the whole thing is just going to click, and it's going to be like, oh, all right, I get it. So let's have a look at our CodeMirror experiments here. Index.html contains editor.bundle and editor.mjs. So that's the bit I think needs to be different, is that import needs to come from somewhere else. So we've got our right. So that's our lang example main. I've got a bunch of stuff. Rollup.config, input. Let's. What's the export? The export is a. If we take a look at index.js over here, it's exporting two things. One is Rockstar language, which is the Lezer language definition, and then the other one is a Rockstar, which is the language support wrapper. I'm not entirely sure what all these things mean yet, but it kind of is starting to make a little bit of sense. So let's take a look in here. We've got some index.ts. So this is our file that we edit to, define the way our language works. Hello, the protector of multiverse or prototype gaming. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? And all right, so that's exporting function Rockstar, and then over here, this thing here in editor.mjs is import JavaScript from there. So I think that line needs to say import Rockstar from, and then this won't be a package repo. This will be a rockstar.js, I guess. And that will be that, and that will be that, but there won't be a function called Rockstar unless I make one. So maybe those need to be capitalized. I'm guessing there's a convention here that... Alright, so there's that, which means that if in the CodeMirror experiments folder here, I run the... Right, so that's my CodeMirror experiments. Import thing 1, thing 2 from language example foo. So the only one it should need here is that. That's the only thing that's working. I came here to wish you a good stream, but also to hear the sacred response to hello there. But it seems like I won't get it here. So in short, have a nice stream. Well, thank you. What is the sacred response to hello there? Baffled. Baffled. I am baffled. Sacred response to hello there. General Kenobi. Alright, today I learned. I am familiar with Star Wars. It's alright. Okay, there we go. There we go. I have a bad feeling about this. Alright, anyway. I never understood why hello there became such an iconic quote. I mean, there are so many, both wonderful and terrible lines of dialogue in the entire extended Star Wars cycle. How did hello there, But then I never understood why I'll be back became like a catchphrase for Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, all right. New editor view, extensions, basic setup Rockstar, import Rockstar from rockstar.js. So somewhere here I had a JS file, which was, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna copy and paste that, and I'm gonna go over here and I'm just gonna rename that to rockstar.js, and I'm gonna see what happens. And what did we run in this folder? Where was my CodeMirror experiments folder? So this was in the examples, bundling with rollup, create a script you run in the browser. There we go. So we got a, do we have a rollup.config.mjs file in here? We do not. So I'm going to drop one of these in here. Add a new no, I don't want Maven on that. What if lines starting with O were comments that you could add in song lyrics that the computer ignores? So comments in Rockstar are surrounded by brackets. So anything in parentheses is a comment, so that the interpreter won't see it. O is being reserved, so you can use it to close blocks. So you need to end like an if statement block or a while or a loop or something. We're going to have oh yeah baby are all going to be different ways of closing blocks, because if you need to close 4 blocks in a row, you know, like in a language like C, you'd have brace, 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 brace. But you can have like oh yeah, and people be like, oh yeah, that works, that's lyrics, that's fine, it makes sense. So there's that, that's over there, and I was just about to drop a bunch of stuff in here. So we got an editor.mjs pulls in Rockstar. So our right click that new file in here, rollup.config.js.mjs. I guess it doesn't care. I mean, it's got imports and exports, so MJS is probably a slightly better name just to make it explicit. There's module system going on here. All right, and then we can just run rollup -c, I think. So if we go into CodeMirror experiments here and do rollup, which needs to be node module /bin /rollup -c. All right, interesting. So rockstar.js, missing global variable name. All right, let's see what we got. So I'm just going to grab that folder. I'm going to run Spark in that folder in a different tab over here. So let's spin up another terminal. Z experiments. Cool. All right. So I'm going to run Spark in there. Localhost 8080. That can sit over here. And let's see what we can see. So HTTP localhost 80. All right. Boom. Rockstar.js is not defined. Okay. Okay. Idris made good use of O as the constructor of the single checked Boolean type. So, Idris language. Yep. I think you need a / in front. Yes, of course I do. Because it's being web bundlified. Let's run that again. All right. And then there's that. And we were over here. And still saying no. Still rockstar.js. is not defined. Okay. Now that's interesting, because that... Eh? Yeah? What I'm wondering is where it's getting the lowercase r from, because I don't think I've put a Rockstar with a lowercase r anywhere except in file names. So something is being inferred from the name of that function there. Parser equals that. Rockstar, yeah, that's all capital. That's all fine. Okay. 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 Yep. 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 Okay, let's check all the steps again. Yes, so that's import that from CodeMirror lang. That's the thing. That's correct. So writing a language package. So what I got here, the writing a language package, my understanding is this would get you to the point of having the thing you can import. And then this thing here shows you how to do the importing and uses JavaScript as the example. And so we got that language support object, and import that from whatever. So that, yeah, okay. This has happened. This is done. This is like... So what do we got? So one of the what this feels like to me is it's documentation written by somebody who understands all this stuff inside out. Like the person who wrote the docs, like their brain can no longer shift down to the point where they're as confused as I am right now, because they know this stuff too well. And so they say, we give it an object mapping node names, and they assume why would anybody reading these documentation not know exactly what that is? And it's not that the docs are bad, it's just that kind of, that there's a... It's not linear. It's not like you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. So we've got a Lezer grammar. That's in. We've got that. It works. It's over here. Syntax.grammar. That runs through. That creates that JS file, which we've called rockstar.js. And... All right, let's try this step by step, like literally one step at a time. So I'm gonna delete that rockstar.js. That can go. So we're in the CodeMirror experiments folder here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do from this point is we're just working locally in here. So I'm gonna make a new file. This is gonna be rockstar.grammar. Okay, so this is gonna give me the grammar definition. And let's find one we can crib, because I had a couple of experiments in here earlier. So there's a rockstar.grammar, and let's all right, so I'm going to grab those two files there. I'm going to bring these across. I'm going to copy them into there. So that's copy that lot, drop that into rockstar.grammar, save that, delete that because we don't need it. So there's our rockstar.grammar. That's going to import stuff from highlight.js. That's going to pull in Lezer highlight. And so now we've got up to there. So now we should be able to run Lezer generator example.grammar, which is the... You see, it's lines like that. You can run Lezer generator example.grammar, but if I actually run that here, does that do anything? That doesn't exist. So they're like, when they say you can run that, what they mean is that somewhere in the scripts that we presume you already have, because why would you be doing this if you don't have the scripts already? You'll have a command that already does that for you. So let's find a bit of the, I'm guessing like a package.json here from somewhere. So this pulls in the Lezer generator and the all right, okay, yeah. So I'm going to copy this package JSON into CodeMirror experiments because that doesn't have one. I'm going to go, oh no, it does have one. Okay, so let's copy that script into here. So that's got those dependencies. Nothing in here refers to the Lezer generator, so let's copy that stuff across. So that's going to go into there. We don't have a package name definition, so we'll grab that lot, we'll pull that across, we'll drop that into here. What else have we got in there? Package copy.json. Exports, import and require. Necessary, I don't know. npm install -- develop. Once dev dependencies are in. Alright, I don't think we need that. So now in CodeMirror, let me do a npm install over here. Alright, command failed. Why? Lezer, no, okay, hang on. Let's clear that and then do a npm install. Already up to date. Could not resolve rockstar.js from editor.mjs. Okay, cool. Alright. Because there's no role, or there is a rollup.config, but it doesn't do the thing that does the So I've got these two different rollup files here, and they're side by side. One is an MJS, one is a JS. I need to do that and then that. So how in rollup do I get it to rollup.js? Oh, yeah, okay. And easy to learn. Get started. Overview. Yep. Rollup. Yep. Yep. The Y is fine. Tree shaking, don't care. Compatibility, all right. Command line interface. Config files. It's like I want to do two things. That's what I want to do. is I want to do this thing and then I want to do that thing. That's it. That's all. That's frequently asked questions. No. No. Exporting. Yep. Export default something. All right. Creating your first bundle. Yep. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. Using config files. Input is that and output is that. Yeah. Yep. So what I'm looking for here, how do you get rollup to do two things? That's it. That's because what we need to do is we need to turn Rockstar.grammar into the ES parser.js, and then we need to run the next part. Plugin, using plugins might be relevant. It's how name resolution is configured in Webpack. Let's take a look at rollup.js multiple steps, see if that gets us anything. The ultimate guide to getting started. How to put in multiple files with, yeah. Export default can be an array. Can be an array for multiple inputs. All right. Yes. You can export an array to build bundles from several unrelated inputs at once, even in watch mode, to build different bundles with the same input. Okay. So the thing that gives me pause here is at once. Yeah. Let's see. So at once might mean that it does them in serial, or it might mean it does them in parallel. But let's see what it can do here. So the first thing that I need to do here, so I'm going to grab that rollup config.js. I'm going to drop that over here. Take a copy of that. Hang on. I've done the thing again where I got two of them. So, right, we want that input and output, and we need the node resolve plugin. So we are going to which one are we going to use? We're going to use MJS. Yeah, MJS is better. That's what we're going to use. So I'm going to copy that whole chunk there. And I'm going to delete all that, and I'm going to delete that file, and I'm going to go into here, and we are going to export default. And first thing we're going to do is we are going to take rockstar.grammar, and we are going to output rockstar.js, and we are going to output rockstar.cjs, which I don't think we need. So let's scrub that. So input, Rockstar grammar, output, format, and that takes the Lezer plugin. All right, so that's cool. So do that. And then we want you to pick up editor.mjs and export editor.bundle.js with the functiony, formatty thing. And then we are going to close out that. All right, and we are just going to need another plugin line here. So in our import that from Lezer generator. So there's our rollup.config. We'll drop that in there. We'll drop that in there, and we will. Yep. Okay, so CodeMirror experiments, clear that. In theory, roll up -C in here should. Oh, that's interesting. It's a different error message. Rockstar is not imported by rockstar.js because So that's the grammar. Good night, capability snob. Sweet dreams. We're going to take a 5-minute break, folks. I'm going to refill my glass of water and stretch my legs and my back. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 17, use flat screens. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, flat screens would be it. The benefits of flat screens have been proved in Hollywood, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the confidence and optimism of greenfield projects. Oh, never mind. You'll not appreciate the confidence and optimism of greenfield till things start going wrong. But trust me, when you finally ship, you'll look back at the code you wrote and recall in a way you can't grasp now how simple everything seemed and how productive you really were. Your code is not as bad as you imagine. Don't worry about changing database providers, or worry, but know that every company who used an ORM in case they needed to switch databases never actually did it. The real problems in your projects are the dependencies you can't control. The engineer who unexpectedly leaves your team at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Learn one thing every day that scares you. Optimize. Don't reformat other people's code bases. Don't put up with people who reformat yours. Rebase. Don't get obsessed with frameworks. Sometimes they help, sometimes they hurt. It's the user experience that matters, and the user doesn't care how you created it. Remember the retweets you receive, forget the flame bait. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old hard drives. Throw away your old network cards. Refactor. Don't feel guilty if you don't understand F#. Some of the most productive junior developers I've worked with didn't know F#. Some of the best systems architects I know still don't. Write plenty of tests. Be kind to your keys. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you have a degree, maybe you don't. Maybe you have an open source project, maybe you don't. Maybe you wrote code that flew on the space shuttle. Maybe you worked on Microsoft SharePoint. Whatever you do, keep improving, and don't worry where your next gig's coming from. There's a big world out there, and they're always gonna need good developers. Look after your brain. Don't burn out, never be scared to take a break. It is the most powerful computer you will ever own. Launch. Even if you have no users but your own QA team. Have a plan, even if you choose not to follow it. Do not read the comments on YouTube, they will only make you feel angry. Cache your package dependencies. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Read your log files. They're your best source of information and the first place you'll notice if something's starting to go wrong. Understand that languages come and go, and it's the underlying patterns that really matter. Work hard to fill the gaps in your knowledge, because the wiser you get, the more you'll regret the things you didn't know when you were young. Code in 8.6 assembler once, but stop before it makes you smug. Code in Visual Basic once, but stop before it makes you stupid. Read. Accept certain inalienable truths. Your code has bugs, you will miss your deadlines, and you too might end up in management. And when you do, you'll fantasize that back when you were a developer, code was bug-free, deadlines were met, and developers tuned their database indexes. Tune your database indexes. Don't deploy your code without testing it. Maybe you have a QA team, maybe you have integration tests. You never know when either one might miss something. Don't mess too much with your user interface, or by the time you ship, it will look like a karaoke booth. Be grateful for open source, but be careful whose code you run. Sharing code is noble, but there's more to it than taking bits of your project's folder, putting a README file on them, and hoping if you upload it to GitHub, someone else will come along and fix all your problems. But trust me, on the flat screens.
And we're back. All right. And yes, I have a lot of flat screens. I love flat screens. I've been programming since the days when screens weren't flat. They were big and heavy and pumped out a ridiculous amount of heat. All right, where did we get to? We got to... There's a step here. There's another step, I think, which is missing, which is this bit here. Import parser, import that. So yeah, the so the nice thing, actually, one of my flat screens isn't flat at all. One of my flat screens is curved. Like, I remember when you had the big old cathode ray tubes that actually bulged in the middle, and then from there we got to flat Trinitron style display. So it was still a glass cathode ray tube, but the front of it was pretty much flat. And then we got the first liquid crystals, and then we got good at liquid crystals, and now you get concave. And my main monitor's a Samsung, and it's lovely. So right, where do we get to? So yeah, I think there's a step missing. So we've got this point. We've got to the running the thing. Let me just scrub a bunch of stuff here that I don't think we need. So that's pulling in source rockstar.grammar. And hang on, do I have two config files again? There, okay. So that's our rollup.config. That is pulling in ./rockstar.grammar. So it's pulling in that one. And it is outputting rockstar.js, which looks like that. And yeah, Trinitron was the Sony tubes. I had Iyama was the brand that I used to have. The Iyama, I can't remember what they were called. All right, so rockstar.js exports parser. So there's a piece missing here, I think, which is the actual language definition file. So the lang example main, this is the thing that we cloned from GitHub. That defines a source has a index.ts. Now, all right, so this is pulling in the parser from the grammar file, which is interesting, because that suggests there's a transformation step that is just picking up as it goes along, importing a bunch of stuff from CodeMirror, and then this exports the export function Rockstar. So yeah. But it's called index.ts. Which, and yeah, this kind of thing is like, here's our example repo. By the way, the example repo is written in TypeScript, but all of our documentation says you're writing in JavaScript. So good luck with that. But I don't think there's any actual... There's no TypeScript annotations or anything on here. Oh no, we have. We got... Oh no, that's not even type annotations. That's just key value pairs. So let's try... All right. So I'm going to assume that the Lezer generator here is smart enough that if you import a grammar file, it's just going to run it through the Lezer transformation generator. So let's say what we need here is our that. We'll copy that across to there. I'm going to rename that to No, I'm going to delete the other one. So that rockstar.js we're going to delete, because that's being output by... We've got rockstar.grammar. That pulls in highlight. That exports the parser. So we can delete this, because this is generated for us. So this thing then can become rockstar.js. Yeah, Panasonic made some good stuff as well. So rockstar.grammar is there. Rockstar.grammar pulls in that. So in the here, import parser from rockstar.grammar. So that, if my understanding is correct, the grammar definition, the pipeline, or the tooling, whatever you want to call it, will automatically pick up the, hey, you've got a grammar file. All right, we're going to run that through this thing here. We're going to turn that into a parser. So this part here should happen automatically, which means we shouldn't need that, which means we shouldn't need that. Let's try running that, see what happens. Boom! Everything blows up spectacularly. You need plugins to import files that are not JavaScript. I don't have highlight.js. Do I? I do have highlight.js. Okay. So there's that. Alright, so what's the difference here? Plugins. Lezer. TypeScript. Config that. Plugins. Lezer. Is that going to do it? Lezer is not defined. Why not? Because I need to pull it in. All right, let's try that. Okay, interesting. That did stuff that time. Yep, missing global variable names. Created editor.bundle. Where's editor.bundle.js? Okay, that's pretty promising. That's something. Let's see what localhost 8080 is doing now. LR is not defined at editor.bundle. Yeah, okay. Why? What LR is not defined? Why not? All right. CodeMirror, import Rockstar from rockstar.js. Rockstar.js is there. Exports Rockstar and exports the Rockstar language support. So that's all good. Grammar file we don't care about at this particular point in the proceedings. Package.json is fine. So what is our language definition thing? Lang example main has a rollup.config. Now, interestingly, that's exporting a directory, not a file. So let's see if in my rollup.config.mjs output all right, that's pulling in an LR. So that's pulling in a parser. That's importing that from there. Oh, right. Okay, so what I will do shortly is I will throw all this away and start again, having learned a little bit as we went along about these tools and how they work. I'm going to delete that. That we don't need. So that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That we don't need. Rockstar, that's a grammar file. So the grammar file turns into parser, and then this imports parser from rockstar.grammar, and that works, and this works. And this thing then spits out a... Let's have a look at this thing here, and maybe instead we just say that exports to dist, and I'll comment at those 2 lines there, and we'll run that again and see what do we get. And that creates a folder called dist, which is fine, which includes only editor.js, which may or may not work, but does not produce an editor.bundle.js. Do I need a format IIFE on that Rockstar thing? Let's see what happens if I do that. Nope, we just have editor. That's all we got. All right. Yeah. Right. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to so that's important, that's important, that's important, that's important. So the tree that we got here is that Rockstar Grammar pulls in highlight, and then that gets pulled into here. So Rockstar Grammar creates the parser. The parser gets imported by Rockstar.js. That exports the Rockstar language support. The editor.mjs pulls in Rockstar.js. So that should pull in the results of that one and bundle the editor. So if I run that now, see what do we get at the other side. The dist file here spits out an editor.js, but then this index.html is looking for editor.bundle.js, and I don't know where where that bundling is supposed to be taking place. Okay. Yes. 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 So we got as far as that. Example.grammar creates JavaScript holding the parse tables. That's fine. So now we've got import parser from parser.js, import all that lot from CodeMirror language, Lezer highlight. So that file there should match what's in our rockstar.js file, which is over here. And import parser, import fold node, fold inside, delimited. Yes, that's all. So you notice here that their example does not make any reference to LR language. I don't know what LR language is. Oh no, okay, so it adds it later. So the first pass just does that. And then they're like, okay, that gives us a parser enough to use to edit. Next we wrap that in a language instance, which wraps a parser and adds a language-specific facet. So import LR language from CodeMirror language. Yeah, that's cool. Finally, import the language support from there and export function example. So this all looks correct. Like this looks good to me. This kind of, I can't see anything obviously missing here. So then this thing here takes a input and outputs editor.bundle.js. So let's just check our rollup.config. Okay, so by specifying this there, all right, so we can get the editor.bundle.js out. That's fine. Do I need that line there? Maybe. Let's try that. All right. Okay. Unresolved dependencies. All right. So that can go. We're not using that anymore. Bye-bye. The dist folder can go. And actually, you know what I'm going to do here? Let's just, we'll reinstate that dist folder. I'm going to say that is going to output to /dist/editor.bundle.js. New folder here called dist, so that's there. And I'm going to drop the index.html in there so that when we rebuild it, so dist here should just contain the stuff which will get deployed. That's the outputs. That's the stuff which will be live. And let me bail out on the other Spark window I had running there. So let's run Spark in that window. Localhost 8080. Wrong folder. CodeMirror experiment, cd dist. All right, Spark. Dot. Run that. Refresh that. Reference error. Highlight is not defined. Okay. That's new. We haven't seen that one before. Let me see if we need to add that to the externs on our... All right, so no, that's there. It should... Maybe I want to do this in 2 explicit steps. Let's try that, see what happens. So there's that lot, but now in editor.mjs, so that imports rockstar.js. Which imports parser. So let's try this. And then in our rollup config. We'll do that. Unresolved dependencies. Use output.globals to specify. Highlight is not defined, LR is not defined, language 1 is not defined. All right. Nope, nope, that's not going to help. All right. So let's find one that worked and see what have I changed between an example that worked and an example that didn't. So we had a CodeMirror spike over here. That pulled in editor.bundle.js, and that just defines a function there that takes no arguments, right? And that one was created using that one and right. Examples. Bundling with rollup. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we did that. That worked. We did that. That worked. We don't care about that. Okay. I don't get it. I do not get why this is not working. Let's... Okay, so Lang example main. This is the example they talk about. I don't know if the chat has crashed. Chat, ping. Boom. Oh, there we go. Yep, it woke up. That's fine. That's nice. So, right. Excellent. Good. Well, the chat works. The code doesn't, but the chat works. So. That line there is giving me pause. Because this one worked. This was the example that we cribbed and it worked, but it's got a bunch of TypeScripty stuff in it. And I wonder whether, like, that line, so that's got a default export, just one. But if I go into my CodeMirror experiments, and there's that. And what did that even output though? That creates the dist folder, which had the index.js, which is the one that you then need to pull in, and yeah. All right. Yep, output globals, guessing, highlight, rollup.js. Let's take a look at that. Open that. All right. Okay, so external globals, so can I do output globals maybe? We'll just plug in the those in there. Let's see if that works. Use output globals to specify yes. All right. But that maybe? I'm kind of banging my head against the wall here, just trying different things that might work and seeing if, even if they don't work, yeah, that did nothing. Use output.globals to specify yes, 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 yes. Does that want to be the other way around? No. Is that the right file? That's in CodeMirror experiments. Yes, that's there. That's there. I'm in CodeMirror experiments. I'm in the right place. I'm looking at the right file. Let me just check I'm definitely looking at the right version of the right thing. Yes, okay, good. Unexpected identifier. So that file is coming from there. Export default has an output which has a globals, which has a something. Import that from that. So should I have more imports in here? Is that why this thing's blown up? All right, cannot find package. Yep, that's... Okay, right. I'm gonna back up a couple of steps. I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna make a fresh folder, and I'm gonna drop little things in one by one, and at each step we're gonna get the thing building and see if I can figure out why it's not working. So I'm gonna sling that out of the way over there, and I'm gonna open up a fresh VS Code window, and we are gonna follow the instructions again from the start and see if we can get this thing to behave. So let's open folder. I want to be in GitHub Dylan BT Rockstar 2.0 spikes is where we are playing around here. And let's drop in another new folder in here, and I'm going to call this CodeMirror. Again, anything, whatever, doesn't matter. Right, so boom, there's that. So what do we got in here? So let's take a look at the documentation on this thing. So the first thing is the packaging, bundling with rollup. All right, so we need to create our editor.mjs. That's fine. We're going to do this with the new text file. We'll call this that and save that as editor.mjs. Okay. Then we need to install the packages that are necessary for this. So we can view terminal, spin up one of those. All right, we'll pnpm on these. Okay, and we'll pnpm that one. All right. And then we can create the rollup.config.mjs file. So let's drop that in there, save that as rollup.config.mjs. Okay, and so now we should be able to run node that -c. All right, that gives us an editor.bundle.js. That's good. It's got stuff in it. And now we should be able to plug in one of those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete that file that just got created. I'm going to say that is going to /dist/editor.bundle.js. New folder in here. We'll call this dist right click, new file, index.html, drop that in there. So now when we run that, it'll create editor.bundle.js, which is there. That will pull that in. So if we run this now, we should get a in-browser code editor with JavaScript syntax highlighting working on it. So let me just CodeMirror again, Spark in that folder, which I can't do because I got a Spark window running somewhere else. So that can go, all right, cd CodeMirror again, spark.cddist. Okay. And that has indeed given us a JavaScript. Cool. All right. So that works. So now we need to create our own language definition and plug it into this because that's working. So back to the documentation, spin that up. That's bundle size. That's that we don't need. 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 Examples. Writing a language package. Okay. So let's create a grammar file. Examples. Yep. 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 So this was the whole thing, that it looks like there's a plugin step that just makes all of this stuff kind of go away. So let's back this up a bunch. Back to here, writing a language package. Now this is the thing where, take a look at the CodeMirror lang example. If we look at their rollup.config, I think we need that line there. So this is our rollup.config. So we got the node resolver, we got Lezer, we are gonna plug in Lezer to here. I wonder if those things need to be in a particular order. Input that, output parser.js, plugins Lezer, doom, bang. All right. Do we think that's going to work? Let's take a look. Node modules, that blows up. Why does it blow up? Cannot find Lezer generator. Let's do a... do I need to install a thing for that? Let's have a look at the docs on here. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, that's already up to date. But cannot find package Lezer generator. Alright, so the example repository here, let's have a look at their package.json. And copy that lot, and I'm going to come over. So there's that. Alright, so we got a dev dependencies missing from here. Okay, let's see what that does. So I don't need that, or that, because we're not doing any TypeScript here. I probably don't need Mocha, because we don't have any testing going on in here. Reformat that lot, drop that back. There we go. That's... Okay, so pnpm install should pull in a bunch of stuff. And then node modules roll up. Could not load example.grammar. Okay, that's good. That is a good place to get to because we don't have that file. And that's all right. We know how to make that file. We know what that file can look like. So let's back that up a couple of steps. And I need an example of a grammar. Let's... Do we have one anywhere? That looks like a grammar file. All right. Run that again. Okay, create a dist editor bundle.js. And that's good. That's not pulling in any weirdness. All right, but editor.mjs is still using JavaScript. And that's importing JavaScript from CodeMirror lang JavaScript. And so example.grammar here, if we look at our config.mjs, that should be outputting parser.js, but it is not. You have passed an unrecognized option. I've what? Right. Doesn't exist, does nothing. All right, let's have a look at my package.json here. Yep. 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 I mean, well, that we shouldn't need this, but let's see if it does anything useful. So this should take example.grammar and it should output parser.js. So now pm run prepare. All right, that created parser.js. Yeah, all right. So that should have happened from that, but for some reason it didn't. But now if I comment out that chunk there, and we do that one, that'll create this editor bundle.js with no warnings. And now if we localhost 8080, we refresh that. That's got some kind of syntax highlighting. All right, so let's hack the grammar file now. So example.grammar is, I'm just going to replace this whole lot. I don't know, can we comment stuff out in a Lezer grammar? What's the syntax for that? Lezer grammar comment syntax. Lezer basic example. Yep. Writing a grammar. Of course, you look for comments in here, it tells you how to write comments in your own language. It doesn't tell you how to... Oh, hang on, is that a... No, wait. That was me going, oh, look, double slash. And then it's like, no, that's telling you how to put a double slash into your thing that you're actually parsing. Weird. All right, // cool. Okay, so let's define a grammar here that says top is going to be a file which consists of an even number or an odd number, and we'll have a skip on space, and then we'll define tokens for this. Space is white space. Yeah, that's fine. And let's say that an even number is 0 to 9 star followed by 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And an odd number is the same. So I'm just going to write a grammar here where we put odd and even numbers and they get highlighted in different colors. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So All right, so now now this is the thing we shouldn't need to do. Unexpected token, boom, why, where? What? Line 6. Strange. Did I just break the grammar? Unexpected token. All right. All right, that worked. That failed. Overlapping tokens. All right. System guide, Lezer grammar, documentation. Yep. Yep, writing a grammar, operators. Yeah, that's fine. Tokens all good. Yeah. Yeah. It's me scribbling through this, just looking for. Okay, so that syntax should work, but it's not, and I wonder why. And is it possibly that I've got rules here with a 0 or more of something, so it's just that I have not defined a very good example. You know what, let's just... What does a dollar mean in the syntax here? Okay. Sequence of tokens. All right. Let's do this instead. So a proper noun is gonna be a to Z followed by any number of lowercase a to z's. So actually a proper noun is going to be one of that followed by a common noun. And then a common noun is going to be a to z plus. And let's see if that is going to run. Yep, okay, so that created a parser, and now if I do the node modules bin rollup, that should give me an editor, and now if I refresh that, I should have a... Okay, so the editor's working. Let's define the highlighting that this thing is going to use. So, right, that's the next part. So let me npm, git add -a, simple grammar working, but no highlights. Okay, so now I think I need to just plug in the little bit of this that enables the syntax highlighting bit to happen. So we've got our, that's there, and CodeMirror. Okay, examples. Yep. Yep, so that's the whole thing, but with no highlights. All right. Yep. Parser used for highlighting. All right, so that's fine. That bit there's missing. We don't have that. We haven't pulled in any highlights yet. So import. Where is my actual... So editor is importing... Whoa, hang on, this is wrong. This is bad. This is still pulling in JavaScript syntax highlighting, which is not what we want. All right. So I got my example grammar. That's outputting a parser.js. And terms.js. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, so now I need to plug in the extra bit. All right. So now we need a new file in here, which I'll call rockstar.js, I guess. And this is where we're gonna plug in all of that lot and drop that in there. And so import parser from parser, which exports parser, so that's fine. So import all of those from CodeMirror language and Lezer.highlight. Let's run that. Stick that import in up there. Okay. This is the point where the last one fell apart, is once we add all these extra dependencies, it just kind of couldn't cope anymore. Okay. So that needs language support is in there. So that comes in here. And then export function Rockstar. Yeah, whatever, let's see what happens. We got autocomplete, maybe that'll work. Alright. And so now, in editor, that should import something from whatever's exported from rockstar.js, which I think will just be that. Or will it? Let's try. Right. Okay, that's interesting. So I got a warning there, but I only got a warning about autocomplete. Because the others... kind of looks like it just picked them up and figured them out. All right. Dogman Best says, how long is your hair? Long enough that if I take it out and put it down, I knock off my microphone. It's about that long. I had it cut the day my nephew was born. Now my nephew will turn 10 in September. And for a little while, my hair was as long as he was, but he's overtaken it a long while ago. All right, so we've got that. That's running now. No, that's not running. Autocomplete is not defined. All right, let's take out autocomplete, because maybe autocomplete here is terrible. Comment out that. Rebuild that. All right. Reload that. We've got an editor bundle in here. All right, so that's working but not highlighting anything. And that's probably because I don't have any highlight.js defined for this. I haven't told it what rules look like what. So if I take a look at the tags file, parser.terms.js, file proper noun and common noun. And let's just try, all right, let's see if the syntax highlighting is working here. And the way that we can do that, I think, is that, all right, identifier, that's weird. Where are those coming from? Identify a Boolean string line comment. Okay, let's try hacking the grammar. So I'm just going to mess this up completely. Like, this can be an identifier or a Boolean or a string. And down here I'm going to say that an identifier is that, a Boolean is that, and a string is any sequence of digits. Okay, so now we're going to run that one. Common noun which isn't found. All right. Boolean not defined. Boolean, there we go. All right. So now we do that, and then we do that, and that gives us that. And then we come over here and we refresh it. And so what we should get now from right is we'll get syntax highlighting for uppercase, lowercase, and strings of digits. And it worked. Look at that. So we've now got, okay, identifiers on, it doesn't know how to highlight those. But strings are getting, sequences of digits here are getting picked up. Okay. Whew. All right. What else we got? Let's try changing that. Instead of that, we're going to have keyword. See if that does anything. And what do we got? A line comment. So let's put line comments in here. That. How do we put a line comment in the syntax for this thing? All right. It works. I don't entirely understand all of the pieces that have been put together to make it work, but it works. So we've got this thing, and we've got code highlighting in there. And what I want to look at now is what do we need to do to make this auto-completion thing work? So let's git add all the things. Git commit -m, simple syntax. Highlighting is working. We're going to take a very short break, fam. I'll be back in a few minutes. Here's Disney.
Go. Life is like a hurricane here in tech world. Deadlines, roadmaps, e-campaigns, all those tech nerds chasing that bonus. Act like they all know tech sales. Every day they're out there making tech sales. Signing up and lining up train wreck sales. When it seems they're headed for that final contract, shady wording never fails. Devs remain trapped. The worst of messes they call successes. Tech sales. Every day they're out there making tech sales. Signing up and lining up train wreck sales. Commission, local markets, they're on a mission, hit those targets. That's the reason they got into tech sales. mission, global markets. They're on a mission, hit those targets. That's the reason they got into tech sales. Every day they're out there making tech sales. Signing up and lining up train wreck sales. Not fire sales or missing sales, no tech sales.
Hey folks, we're back. Oh no, Core Bob says every time I get back to the stream you take a break. Alright, well I'm into, I think we've been streaming for about 3 hours, 2 hours and 50 minutes now. I've only taken 2 breaks and they're very short breaks. So, this project is about building a... So the project is Rockstar, which is an esoteric programming language, which is codewithrockstar.com. It's an ESO-lang based on heavy metal song lyrics. It's been around for a couple of years, but there's a bunch of things about it that I was never happy with, so I'm updating it. And what we're specifically looking at today is how to implement syntax highlighting and autocomplete inside CodeMirror, which is a... web-based code editor thing, so that I can deploy a web playground for Rockstar programs that it did not include black metal in it. It is very hard to parse growly lyrics. So, you know, I mean, you can write almost anything. The whole point, you know, Rockstar, the joke is that it's based on rock songs. But really, it's almost like a, you know, natural language parser. A lot of it's just based on English. So, anyway. Right, I want to look at why autocomplete did not work, because if I can get autocomplete working, then we can, yep, so, if I can do that, then I kind of, like, it's not right, it's not even close to being, oh, Don't Stop Believing, that's a classic. You know, Don't Stop Believing is, I think, the only song that has been in the top 10 by 3 different bands at the same time, because there was a Glee cast recording at the same time as a reissue at the same time as the original, and because of streaming. And oh yeah, the 4-chord song Axis of Awesome. Yeah, Don't Stop Believing has 5 chords, absolutely. Quite a lot of the songs in the 4-chord song by Axis of Awesome have more than 4 chords. But we don't talk about that because it will spoil the joke. Right, let me see why this thing isn't working. So the code provides one piece of metadata, line comment syntax right away. Right, what am I looking at here? So, yep. I don't... there's a lot of stuff going on here I don't really understand yet. This is the kind of let's start banging pieces together, and at some point, A, we'll get a working solution, and B, we'll understand what it is that made that solution work. So that suggests that that comment tokens thing is coming out. All right, so let's plug in some autocomplete support here. So I'm gonna take that out, and I think the way that's not, that'll be why that's not working. So there's that, and so we can call that Rockstar completion, and we're gonna end up with a kind of unholy chimera of a language here, because the grammar I've defined here, yeah, that's correct. Well done, Copilot. Have a biscuit. All right, now let's run that through again. So we've got pnpm run prepare. That'll turn that, and then we've got our node modules bin rollup -c. All right, so then we come back over here, we refresh that. Complete from list is not defined. Why not? Because I've missed that. All right, so we plug that back in. We Do that. We do that. And we refresh that. And we get autocomplete is not defined. Why not? Why not? Right, okay. Parser.metadata. Export const equals. I think they've missed a step here. I wonder whether there's something. Like that's saying it can't find autocomplete. But we know autocomplete is. Or autocomplete should be there. But why not? Okay, so auto completion. Yep. All right, so completions themselves are objects with a label property. And my language.data of autocomplete my completions. Yeah, that's. Yeah, okay. So autocompletion is enabled by including the autocompletion extension in your configuration. Maybe I have forgotten to do that. Included in the basic setup. All right, so I got the basic setup, so that should work. Yep. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So import completion context, that's. So we've got complete from list. We're pulling that in from autocomplete. That should be all right. Let's rebuild the things and see what blows up this time. Roll up -C. There's that's in. That's cool. Right, rebuild that. Blows up. Autocomplete is not defined at editor.bundle.js. All right, so that's this whole thing where it's. I wonder if I can just Google autocomplete is not defined. No, that's nothing. Nope. All right. Not gonna help. So. Ooh. So I was getting this problem before, but I was getting this problem with all the other bits. And then it mysteriously went away. like something about the syntax we got in here meant it didn't blow up with that anymore. So we've got LL language, so yeah, that's fine. That's import CodeMirror autocomplete complete from list. So that lot is feeding out into parser.js. This is getting generated for us. That's the tokenizer. That's parser.terms. That's all right. That lot gets pulled into Rockstar.js. So that pulls in the parser. Yep. It's fine. And let's see if I don't find a CodeMirror example. SQL language support. Okay, what do we got? We got a grammar. We've got a TypeScript. That's a base parser.configure. That's all fine. SQL config, keyword completion. See if we find an example anywhere inside anything in the CodeMirror org. Yeah, nope, nope, nope. CodeMirror lang JavaScript maybe might be a good one to look at. JavaScript.ts. Yep. Export function, JavaScript, return new language support, and then, all right, an array of, yeah, completion. Yes, 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 yes. I think perhaps, folks, we are going to park this one. I do not think that this is necessarily going to yield right away. I mean, it clearly works, because there's stuff all over the web that uses this stuff, and that doesn't break. It's solid, it's used in, you know, all over the place. But there's just something about the way that this is getting... hang on a second. Hang on a second. Maybe I shouldn't be exporting that. That may not need to be... Because if you look at the way the JavaScript example here is working... export function JavaScript is returning a new language support wrapped around the JavaScript language, and then it's got JavaScript language data of something, but that's not exported. So maybe I can grab that there, and inline that. And rebuild that. And that. CodeMirror guessing autocomplete. What do you mean? No. Use output.globals to specify browser global variable names corresponding to external modules. What? No, 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 no. Let's see if it worked. No. Reference error. Autocomplete is not defined. Useful. Rollup wants me to create global variable names. Back in a moment, folks. Sorry about that. We're back. Coffee. Coffee delivery arrives every week. Without coffee, there is no life. Right. Let's see if I can figure out what's going on. Other than, you know, JavaScript is going on, because, yeah. So let's try this. CodeMirror rollup globals. Useless. All right. Alright, CodeMirror 6 just dumps a bunch of Lego at your feet with minimal instructions and tells you to build your own editor. Yes, that is what we are feeling like right now. RP Gillespie 6, thank you. Alright. Okay, useful. Cool. Alright. Alright. Okay. God bless you, dude. I spent 3 days trying to get this working. It's completely hostile. With all due respect, you are wrong. In the official guide, you cannot end up using it and making it work if you don't assume a lot of things. Yeah, this could be interesting. The official documentation, while admirable, the time was taken to put it together, is a huge miss if you're a newcomer. Most of it jumps right into the middle of some topic that requires much deeper background knowledge, and that background is unavailable or unclear how to find anywhere. Yes, 100% that is my afternoon right there. The original author might not be the best candidate to write documentation. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, this could be fun. Yes, cool Bob. With all due respect, my guide here is perfect. Anything not mentioned is obvious. All right, so just to recap, so the problem I've got here, the point where I've got to with what I'm trying to accomplish today is this autocomplete thing. If I... Here, let me show you. What? No. Hey, Lorenzo. Oh, thank you. I do enjoy preparing and doing those talks. You get to learn, like, research a lot of interesting stuff and then go to cool places and talk to interesting people. And let's just try this. And I'm going to call this Dylan test keywords equals Rockstar language data of... And that is gonna do that and that and that and that and that and then one of those and then one of those and then one of those, then one of those. And then this thing here, that says Dylan test keywords. Okay. And I'm going to give this like another 10 minutes, folks, and then in any case, I'm going to wrap it up for today, and we'll come back to it next time. So let me just... do you think I can remove that extra step there? Let me just see. So at the moment, what is it in here that's importing from parser.js? So that bit there, import parser, I should be able to say import parser from... example.grammar. But now that's saying, nope, you can't do that. We don't know what example.grammar is. And is it because I'm missing a plugin? It is probably because I'm missing a plugin. So let me put the Lezer plugin in there. And then the node resolve plugin, and now we do the same thing. Okay, so now only autocomplete is missing, so that's at least eliminated a step. And that's saying autocomplete is not defined. And so so what's happening now is this thing is spitting out editor.bundle.js, and that is being exported as an immediately invoked function that expects autocomplete to get passed into it. But it doesn't. Like, I don't know where that's getting that from. Or even why it thinks it's necessary. And if we take that out, and I just pass an empty one of those in, and then I run that again, and we jump back over and we refresh it. Okay, so now it's still saying autocomplete is not defined. Well, that's interesting. Well, that's what happens if I just comment out that block, and let's run that, and there's... Well, that's in there, and refresh, and now we get some kind of rudimentary syntax highlighting going on over here. Okay. So why is that trying to export a thing that doesn't need to be exported? Let's take a look at what it thinks that's doing. Yeah, open that, that's fine. All right. Rollup will only resolve relative module IDs, but this means that an import statement like that won't result in that being included in your bundle. Instead, it will be an external dependency that's required at runtime. If that's what you want, you can suppress this warning. All right. If you do want to include the module, you need to tell Rollup how to find it. In most cases, this is a question of using plugin node resolve. So right, well, let me undo that, reinstate that, rebuild that, take another look at the warning we get out of it. CodeMirror autocomplete. Is all right. Yeah. Yeah. It isn't that I need to install something, or there's something missing, or what? Like, okay, so we got CodeMirror language, we got Lezer highlight. Let's have a look at package.json. All right, so that's pulling in CodeMirror language Lezer highlight. Maybe I need to plug in CodeMirror autocomplete here as a all right. Is that it? Huh. Really? Do I have a useful web browser here anywhere? That looks like a useful web browser. Boom, look at that. All right, excellent. So we got syntax highlighting and we've got code completion, and both of those are plugged in. And that, folks, is time to do what they call quitting while one is ahead. The pieces are in, they look good, they work. Yeah, cool. All right. I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to. I thought I'd get a little bit more to a point where I can start plugging in some actual Rockstar language syntax. But hey, it turns out CodeMirror is a little gnarlier to get set up and running than I thought it might be. And yeah, wow, what a opaque error message. Okay. Folks, thanks for stopping by. That was a good stream. And we'll be back on probably Friday, if I'm not too hungover from celebrating the general election that is going to happen tomorrow. Yeah, ship it is. I want to get to the point relatively quickly where all of the outputs from Rockstar have like a CI pipeline just up and running for them, so that at that point it just becomes a question of adding features, and every feature just flows right the way through the pipe. But folks, thanks for stopping by. You all take it easy out there. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.